Democrats in the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline.
The View is facing a massive scandal, and it's sinking fast with no clear way out. The cause? Karoline Leavitt, a sharp and unapologetically conservative powerhouse, has turned the show's latest smear campaign into a potential $800 million legal nightmare. Now the show's biggest names, Whoopi Goldberg, Behar, and Sunny Hostin, are reportedly in full-blown panic mode, desperately trying to make the situation disappear. It's hard to believe, but the same women who've never hesitated to go after their political opponents are now the ones begging for mercy. This lawsuit isn't just a minor bump in the road, it has the potential to rock the show to its core. With Leavitt standing firm, the future of The View is now hanging in the balance. Will the show's stars be able to escape the storm they've created, or will this be their downfall?
Well, listen. If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
The View is facing a financial disaster that could completely wipe out the show. We're talking about a legal battle so massive that the biggest stars of the show could personally suffer major financial consequences if things don't go in their favor. Now, reports are emerging that the show's stars are reportedly begging Karoline Leavitt behind closed doors to settle and drop the hammer before it's too late. But something tells me she's not interested in making this easy for them. So what exactly did The View say that triggered this legal firestorm? What was Karoline's mic drop response that left their legal team scrambling for damage control? Let's just say it was brutal, and it sent shockwaves through the entire network. Now there's the $800 million question. Is ABC seriously considering pulling the plug on The View before things get any worse? Some insiders are whispering that the network's executives are fed up with the constant scandals and the legal messes that keep piling up. If this lawsuit turns uglier, they might just decide to cut their losses and shut the show down for good. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, brace yourself for what's coming next. If you think the situation's already messy, just wait until you hear what's about to unfold. Once again, The View set its sights on Karoline Leavitt, and let's just say they weren't holding back. The drama is far from over, and the future of the show is hanging in the balance.
Most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. We have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
The latest attack on Karoline Leavitt has sparked outrage, and the fallout from their reckless, belittling comments has been nothing short of nuclear. It all began with Behar, who smugly dismissed Karoline's success as nothing more than a favor from Donald Trump. According to Joy, Karoline wasn't talented or hardworking enough to earn her place. She only succeeded because Trump thought she was a 10. Seriously. Are we really reducing an accomplished woman's career to her looks? This from a show that constantly preaches female empowerment, yet here they are, implying that a young woman's success depends solely on a man's opinion of her attractiveness. The hypocrisy is off the charts. But Joy wasn't alone in her attempts to tear down Karoline. Whoopi Goldberg quickly jumped in, doubling down on the insult. Instead of just attacking Karoline's success, Whoopi went even further, claiming that without wokeness, Karoline wouldn't even have a job. This outrageous statement suggests that ambition, intelligence, and hard work mean nothing, only adherence to their political beliefs. The irony is palpable. A show that constantly claims to break barriers is now gatekeeping success based on politics. And then there was Sunny Hostin, who couldn't resist getting in her own jab. Instead of going after Karoline's looks or her stance on wokeness, Sunny decided to twist the knife even deeper by dismissing Karoline's entire career. It was a calculated attack designed to undermine her achievements at every level. The hypocrisy of The View is undeniable. They've spent years claiming to be champions of women's rights and empowerment, but their actions reveal a different story, one of elitism, political bias, and dismissiveness toward anyone who doesn't fit their narrow mold of success.
Clarify, she's probably been put in there because according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though, it's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
According to Sunny Hostin, Karoline Leavitt's success wasn't earned or deserved. It was just privilege. Yep, you heard that right. In Sunny's world, if a conservative woman rises through the ranks, it's not because of hard work or determination, especially in an industry that often marginalizes anyone who doesn't toe the liberal line. According to The View, Karoline's success was handed to her on a silver platter, with no effort on her part. The outrage was palpable, and the backlash came fast and furious. Fans immediately called out The View for its blatant hypocrisy. How many times has the show preached about supporting and uplifting women, smashing the patriarchy, breaking glass ceilings, and celebrating female success? Yet, the moment a woman who doesn't fit their liberal mold steps up, suddenly all bets are off. It's a glaring double standard, and one viral comment summed it up perfectly. Asterisk, The View says it supports women, unless they're conservative. Then it's open season asterisk, just when it seemed things couldn't get any wilder. The situation escalated further. The hypocrisy was on full display, revealing the ugly side of a show that claims to champion women's empowerment, unless those women challenge their ideological beliefs. The backlash was intense, and it's clear that The View's treatment of Karoline has sparked a firestorm that's far from over.
I would like this young lady this is her first job, I would like her to do a little homework. Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table. Women were not invited to many tables in this nation. The reason we fought and busted our behinds to make sure that you didn't have to worry about this. And now to hear you talk about it and to hear anybody talk about the wokeness was put in place for a reason. Because black people couldn't get into colleges. Because women could not get into the colleges they wanted to go to. This is all women. Yeah. See, this is not black, Asian women. This is all women. Women were not invited to this party. It was a man's world, and we busted our asses to make sure that this was a person's world.
This commentator said, Whoopi is mansplaining the press secretary job to Karoline Leavitt. Hilarious.
Karoline Leavitt's response to The View's mockery was nothing short of a bombshell. Instead of brushing off the insults or going on a PR tour to cry victim, she struck back in a way no one saw coming, by lawyering up and going straight for the jugular. Karoline didn't engage in petty Twitter rants or exchange insults on social media. Instead, she took real action that sent shockwaves through the entire media industry. She slapped The View with an $800 million lawsuit. This wasn't just any lawsuit, it was a declaration of war. Karoline's legal team is accusing The View of defamation, slander, and malicious attacks, all aimed at destroying her career, reputation, and future. She isn't just looking for a simple apology or a payout. She's out for justice and determined to take the fight all the way. The View wasn't prepared for this kind of heat. Reports are emerging that their legal team is in absolute chaos, scrambling to contain the situation. But this case isn't just about Karoline. It's much bigger than that. Her lawsuit is exposing a long-standing pattern of behavior from The View, one that goes beyond her personal attacks. Karoline's legal team is pulling back the curtain on the show's history of attacking, silencing, and destroying conservative voices. With years of receipts, Karoline is shining a spotlight on how The View has systematically targeted those who don't conform to their liberal ideals. This isn't just a battle between Karoline and the show. It's a fight against the mainstream media machine that has for too long been able to silence opposing voices without consequence. The stakes couldn't be higher, and here's the part that should terrify The View. This lawsuit could be the one that finally brings the show down for good. It's not just a legal battle, it's a reckoning. The View's constant smear campaigns against conservative figures could be exposed as part of a larger, dangerous agenda to control the narrative and suppress opposing viewpoints. And Karoline isn't going to let them get away with it. She's dragging the receipts into the spotlight, and it's only a matter of time before the truth becomes impossible to ignore. But it's not just The View that's scrambling. ABC is in full-blown panic mode. Inside sources are reporting that executives at the network are absolutely livid, having never expected a scandal of this magnitude. The last thing ABC wanted was a legal battle this huge, especially one that could send advertisers running for the hills. And that's exactly what's happening. Corporate sponsors are already raising eyebrows, questioning whether they want their brands tied to a show that could end up owing nearly $1 billion in damages. As the lawsuit drags on, ABC is desperately trying to contain the fallout and prevent advertisers from pulling their support. But at this point, it might already be too late. What's even more embarrassing for The View's hosts is the shift behind the scenes. The same loudmouthed women who publicly mocked Karoline are now desperately trying to save themselves. Joy Behar, who gleefully laughed about Karoline's success on national television, is now begging behind closed doors for the case to be settled quietly. Suddenly, she's not so confident anymore. Whoopi Goldberg, too, is feeling the heat, realizing that this lawsuit is bigger than any petty insult they hurled. The View's top stars, once so sure of their immunity, are now facing the harsh reality that their actions may cost them far more than they bargained for. What was once a minor controversy has turned into a full-blown legal nightmare, and The View is now scrambling to find a way out of the mess they've created. With Karoline Leavitt standing firm, the future of the show, and perhaps the entire network, is now hanging by a thread.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
Sources reveal that Karoline Leavitt has even attempted to reach out through mutual contacts, hoping to set up a private sit-down to clear the air. After months of mocking, dismissing, and tearing her down, now The View wants to talk. It's hard to take seriously, especially after all the damage they've caused. Karoline isn't just exposing their hypocrisy, she's making them squirm. And based on the way things are looking, The View might not survive this one. Then there's Sunny Hostin, who's really feeling the pressure now. According to insiders, her legal team is in full-blown panic mode because legal experts say she could be personally liable for millions in damages. That's right, this lawsuit isn't just a problem for The View as a whole. Sunny herself might have to dig deep into her own pockets if things don't go her way. The smug confidence she once had is quickly fading. The same woman who never hesitated to take shots at conservatives is now facing the real possibility of losing big. Suddenly, the stakes have never been higher. The once untouchable, self-righteous hosts of The View, who built their careers on mocking, smearing, and tearing down political opponents, are now desperately trying to make this go away. These are the same women who demanded accountability when it suited them, laughed at their critics, and acted like they were above consequences. But now they're scrambling behind the scenes, hoping this legal nightmare doesn't destroy them. The tables have definitely turned, and it's a whole new game for them.
Dang, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage.
Karoline Leavitt isn't backing down, and she knows this fight is about much more than just herself. This isn't just about defending her reputation. This is about holding the media accountable for years of lies, smears, and reckless attacks. Karoline is taking a stand to expose how mainstream outlets crush anyone who doesn't align with their views, how they push narratives without consequences, and how they've ruined reputations and destroyed careers without ever being held responsible. But not this time, not with this lawsuit. Karoline isn't just fighting for herself. She's fighting for every conservative voice that's been silenced, slandered, and smeared by the media elites. Her supporters are cheering her on, and one viral tweet summed up how many feel about this legal battle. Karoline Leavitt is doing what everyone wishes they could, making The View pay for their lees. This isn't just another scandal for The View or a bad PR moment. It's a reckoning, and Karoline is leading the charge. But it gets even worse for The View. Sources say ABC is officially in full-scale crisis mode. Executives are freaking out over how bad this lawsuit could get, and the stakes couldn't be higher. this isn't just about legal fees or a PR disaster. This lawsuit could financially devastate the network. ABC is already struggling with declining ratings, and now The View, one of its most controversial yet high-profile shows, is turning into a legal nightmare that could cost the network hundreds of millions of dollars. The worst part? Major advertisers are starting to get nervous. Sources close to ABC say that several big-name sponsors, those who keep The View on air, are now seriously considering pulling their ads altogether. If that happens, it's over. No sponsors, no money, no show. The View has always been a lightning rod for controversy, but this lawsuit might just be too big for the show and the network to survive.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on
Whoopi Goldberg's past suspensions, Joy Behar's constant controversies, and The View's credibility steadily nosediving, ABC has been quietly debating whether it's even worth keeping the show on air. Ratings have dropped, and viewers are tired of the same predictable outrage. The only thing keeping The View afloat is the revenue it generates from advertisers. But if advertisers start pulling out, ABC won't hesitate to pull the plug, and this lawsuit could be the final nail in the coffin. Let's be real. If The View's own hosts are now desperately pleading behind the scenes for the lawsuit to be dropped, that speaks volumes. They know they messed up. They know they're in serious trouble. And for the first time in a long time, they can't control the narrative. The View may not survive this one. The show is in shambles, the network is in chaos, and Karoline Leavitt is coming out on top. What started as another smear campaign by The View has quickly turned into a full-blown disaster that could bring the entire show crashing down. The View's legal team is in panic mode, scrambling to contain the damage and desperately looking for a way to make the lawsuit disappear before it destroys their credibility and finances. ABC executives are frantically trying to stop the fallout, hoping to keep advertisers from pulling their support. But the reality is, it might already be too late. Major sponsors are watching closely, with some even considering pulling their ads. No brand wants to be associated with a talk show that could be facing nearly $1 billion in damages. The same hosts who mocked Karoline on live TV are now pleading for a quiet settlement behind the scenes. But Karoline isn't playing their game. She isn't backing down or letting them walk away unscathed. For the first time ever, The View is facing real consequences, and their worst nightmare is unfolding right in front of them. This isn't just about one lawsuit. It's about holding the media accountable for years of reckless attacks, slander, and one-sided narratives. It's about exposing how mainstream platforms destroy reputations with zero accountability, while smearing, misleading, and silencing voices they don't agree with, all while hiding behind their corporate safety nets. But now that net is unraveling, and Karoline is making sure they finally pay the price. Now it's your turn. Do you think Karoline Leavitt is right to keep fighting this case? Should The View be held accountable for their reckless, unapologetic attacks? And most importantly, is this the moment that finally brings the show crashing down for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get this conversation going because this is a fight that could change everything. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe for more breaking updates, exclusive drama, and the latest scandals you won't want to miss. Trust me, this story is far from over. Things are just starting to heat up, and you're going to want to stay tuned. See you in the next one.